Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about my favorite foundations. I believe I have 6 or 7 to share with you guys in today's video, and I just wanted to include all of them in one video, share the pros and the cons, and let you guys know which foundations I typically reach for. I believe I have a video on my channel using every single one of these, so if you want to see them in action, I'll link those videos in the description box below. I do have oily skin. It's not as much acne prone as it used to be, but I do struggle with the occasional breakout. My skin is very red, and I typically look for something that's pretty long wearing, that has pretty good coverage, and that stays matte throughout the day. So the foundation that I'm typically wearing when I am going for more of a full coverage look is this one from Fenty. This one is the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. It retails for $35 and you get 1.08 fluid ounces. They do have 50 different shades available on the website. I'm currently mixing 2 shades, 140 and 150, and I feel like that creates my perfect shade. I would say that this foundation is going to be most ideal for you if you are looking for a true full coverage foundation that stays in place really well on oily skin. For a full coverage matte foundation, I do find that this blends out pretty easily on the skin. I typically use a brush to blend out my foundations. It also builds really well. So if you struggle with redness or acne or scarring, it's going to cover everything. Even though this foundation builds really easily, I don't find that it looks super heavy or feels really uncomfortable on the skin. I wouldn't say that it's the most lightweight foundation or the most heavy, uncomfortable foundation. It kind of falls somewhere in the middle. But because it is so full coverage, I think that you would expect it to look and feel a lot heavier on the skin than it actually does. Now, as for cons, it really is like a true full coverage matte foundation. It's not a smoothing foundation by any means. It does not look skin-like. So if you have combo skin or dry skin, it might really enhance and cling to those dry areas on your skin, which obviously will not be super flattering. It's not going to kind of glide over any problem areas. So even if you have a breakout, it might tend to enhance that a little bit. But I do find that it truly is a long wearing foundation that stays in place so well. Whether it's really hot outside or your skin is super oily, I definitely think this would be a great option for you if you want more of a full coverage foundation. Now, if you like the Fenty foundation, I definitely have a good affordable alternative. A lot of people call this one a dupe. I wouldn't say that it's an exact dupe to the Fenty foundation, but it is a little bit similar. So this one is from Catrice. It is the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and it comes with 1.01 fluid ounces, and it retails for $10.99. So on their website, this foundation comes in 23 shades. They recently added a couple of lighter shades and a couple of deeper shades. I usually wear the shade 10 Light Beige, which was their lightest shade. That's like my go-to during the summertime. But now that it is almost winter, I'm currently wearing like somewhere between 6 and 8. I can't figure out my perfect shade in the new colors. I will swatch them for you guys. I obviously have lighter shades, but they do have deeper shades as well. On Ulta's website, they still only have 18, so hopefully they will get those additional shades as well. I think that this foundation is going to be a great option for you if you have combo skin or oily skin. The Fenty foundation is super intensely matte, and this one does have more of like a demi-matte finish. So it does leave your skin looking and feeling matte, which is great if you have oily skin, but it looks a little bit more natural on the skin because it doesn't completely dry down and look like it sucked all of the moisture out of your skin. If you have combo skin and you struggle with a little bit of dryness, or if you have problem areas like breakouts or scarring, this foundation isn't going to cling to those areas and enhance them, which is really nice. This foundation blends out so well. It's incredibly lightweight and comfortable. It's one of the lightest foundations because it almost feels like a serum foundation. Like it has this super liquidy texture, so you would not think that the coverage would be there, but it is a full coverage foundation. So it blends out well, it builds well, but again, it doesn't look heavy or cakey on the skin. As for cons, I would say that it is a little bit of a messy product because you have to like drip it onto your brush or your hand or your sponge. I do find that it's not necessarily as quick and easy as I would like it to be. The other issue is that it doesn't come in quite as many shades as the Fenty foundation. I think they're getting there, and they definitely listen to feedback because they used to have 4 shades and then they expanded to 18, and then they recently added 5 more. So I do appreciate that. They are a smaller company, but I think they're getting there. They just don't have as many shades to choose from. So I tried the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation during the summertime. I have an entire review and wear test on my channel if you guys want to check it out, but I have been really enjoying this product. It retails for $39 and you get 1 fluid ounce. ounce. There are 50 different shades. I'm currently wearing the shade 20YW, but during the summer I wear 30YW, or I kind of mix them together. This is a really lightweight foundation that gives you more of a light to medium coverage look. So if the Fenty foundation or the Catrice foundation are a little bit too intense for you, if they provide you with too much coverage, then I think you might enjoy this one. This one has more of a skin-like finish overall. It almost has like these really pretty like smoothing properties. So when you see my skin in real life, I think it just looks so pretty. And that's typically what I'm going for these days. I mean, I do love full coverage, but sometimes you just don't want to look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. If you do have extremely oily skin, it might not be as mattifying as you would like it to be. I think that this one will be more ideal if you have dry skin, if you have combo skin, slightly oily skin. I didn't wear it as much during the summertime as I would have liked to, because I felt like if it was a really hot day or a really long day, I would have to touch up and blot my skin throughout the day. But what's weird is that even though my skin would get oily, the foundation would still look really good and really smooth. So I do feel like this is a long wearing foundation. It's just not as mattifying as I would like it to be. But now that it is fall and we're heading into winter, I do find that I've been able to get more use out of this product than I did during the summertime. The issue is that, it almost has like a slightly orange tint no matter what, because it does oxidize. It's not that it even looks a little bit darker. It's almost that it looks like slightly orange toned, at least on me, which can be a little bit frustrating. But other than that, I do enjoy this. I think it's a great everyday foundation. So I want to talk about two foundations from Makeup Revolution. One is technically kind of marketed for oily skin, one's for dry skin, but I do like both of them. So the first one I want to talk about is the Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. So this retails for $12. You get 0.8 fluid ounces and it comes in 50 different shades. This one actually has a doe foot applicator, which may or may not appeal to you. I actually like the doe foot applicator a lot more than I thought I would. I think with this texture and like this foundation in particular, it works really well because again, this is a very thin liquidy foundation. This applies so easily. If I am in a hurry, this is my go-to foundation because I take the doe foot applicator, apply the product, and then blend it out with my brush and I'm good to go. The nice part about this foundation is that I would call it more of a medium to buildable foundation, because when I take it and I like blend it out very quickly, I get a true medium coverage look, but you can build it up really easily. It leaves your skin looking so incredibly smooth and even. So if you have dry skin or combo skin or oily skin and you like a matte foundation, you are going to love this because it really just gives your skin the most perfected smooth appearance. The con for me personally is that it's not quite as long wearing as some of my other foundations. So this is again a good everyday foundation for me when I don't need to wear my makeup for longer than like 8 hours. It stays in place pretty well for 8 hours, but if I have like a long day, like if I'm leaving the house at 7 a.m. and I'm not getting home till like 8 or 9 p.m., this is not my go-to foundation because it will break down on me. My skin will get a little bit oily. If you have dry skin or combo skin, you might not experience that same issue, but the fact that it's so quick and easy to use, it's so blendable, and it just looks so smooth on the skin makes it one of my go-to foundations for sure. Now, a foundation that you probably would not think that I would enjoy is this one from Makeup Revolution. Sometimes when I talk about more like hydrating foundations on my channel, a lot of people are like, that's not really meant for oily skin, but just because you have oily skin doesn't mean you can't wear hydrating foundations. And just because you have dry skin doesn't mean you can't wear mattifying foundations. You could totally wear whatever you want. But I think when you have oily skin, sometimes it can be difficult to wear more of a hydrating foundation formula because it won't last well or it will just look like an oily mess after an hour. So the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation is also $12. It comes in 50 different shades on the Makeup Revolution website, but on Ulta's website, they only currently have 12 shades. So hopefully they'll get the additional shades sooner than later. I have the shade F5.7, which is too yellow toned for me, so I haven't been wearing this very much. I need to actually purchase a new shade because I love the formula. This glides on the skin so beautifully. A lot of products that have hyaluronic acid don't really do much, but I do find that this one sits on the skin so well without settling into fine lines. It makes my skin look so glowy and healthy and plump, and it has amazing coverage at the same time. A lot of really hydrating foundations almost kind of sheer out on the skin as you apply them, but this one has pretty good coverage. It feels really creamy and blendable and smooth, and it's just one of the most beautiful formulas that that I've tried in a long time. Now, it truly is a hydrating foundation, so it's going to give your skin a super hydrated glow. And if you have dry skin, you might love that. If you have oily skin, I would recommend setting it into place. But even once you set it into place, like after you give your skin like an hour or two and the powder has kind of almost like melted into the foundation, that natural glow will shine through in such a beautiful way. This is not necessarily the most long wearing foundation for me, but I can wear it for like a good 7 to 8 hours before it starts to look really oily. I think it's such a great option. If you have dry skin, I think you will love it. If you have combo skin, I think you'll enjoy it. If you have oily skin, it probably won't be your go-to, but if you do like a hydrating option, I would recommend trying it out because as far as hydrating foundations go, this one stays in place pretty well for me. It's also a great option to mix into foundations if you find that a lot of your matte foundations are too matte. I've had the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation in my makeup collection for what feels like forever. These are like somewhat newer bottles to my collection because I am currently mixing the shades Vanilla and Sand, but this retails for $6. They actually have 40 shades, which is awesome, and you get 0.68 fluid ounces. This is such a nice affordable option that I think would work well for a lot of skin types and a lot of different preferences because I don't find that it's light coverage or full coverage. It's also not super matte or super hydrating. It falls like directly in the middle of everything that I've been talking about. So I think whether you have dry skin, normal skin, or oily skin, you would really enjoy this one. It's a really creamy texture, but it blends out so well. It doesn't build up to be anything more than like medium coverage. You can build it in areas, but overall I think it looks best if you just kind of wear it as like a true medium coverage foundation. The big con for me is that it's really strongly scented and you can notice it even once it's on the face. It's like a fresh scent, so it's not anything that's going to like give you a headache, I guess. But if you're really sensitive to fragrance, I would keep that in mind because I do notice that I can smell it throughout the day. So that unfortunately is a con, but other than that, I think it's such a nice foundation. So the last thing I want to share with you guys is not technically a foundation, but I do wear it as foundation. I talk about it all the time. So I wanted to share it with you in today's video. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. It retails for $6.50 and you get 0.176 ounces. This is like one of my go-to foundations because it is so easy and the coverage is perfect, the texture is perfect. I'll take this and kind of apply it all over my face and blend it out, set it with powder, and it stays in place all day long. It is so incredibly smoothing and lightweight and comfortable. I think that this is more comfortable than any of my other foundations because it just doesn't feel like you're wearing a foundation. I don't know what it is, but when I have to apply foundation, I just have it in my mind that it's going to be a process. I'm going to feel it on my skin no matter what I use, even if it is more of a lightweight foundation. But if I take my concealer and just take this and kind of spot conceal and blend it out, I just don't feel like I'm wearing anything on my skin. Even though you only get like a small amount, a little bit goes a really long way, and it's just smooth and blendable and mattifying, and it stays in place well. During the summertime, I typically wear this as foundation rather than one of my like full coverage foundations because it's just a lot more comfortable on my skin. And because it's not like intensely full coverage as it wears off throughout the day, I think it looks a lot more natural. So I do have an entire video where I use this. I'll link that below if you guys want to check it out. Obviously, if you use concealer as foundation, it's going to be a lot more expensive in the long run because you only get like 0.18 ounces in here compared to like the typical 1 fluid ounce foundation, but a little bit does go a long way, and I find that I don't go through these as quickly as you would think. So I love this. If you guys haven't tried using this as foundation, I do recommend it. Again, I have an entire video, so I'll link it below. Okay, guys, so those are all of the foundations I wanted to share with you guys in today's video. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. Let me know in the comment section below which foundations are your favorite because I really would love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.